Ed, and Danielle. What am I talking about? 90 Day the Single Life, the tell all. But first, let me get to Danielle. I don't know how I forgot to mention this on my last video, but you know what's going on with her ex, her and Muhammad, and how they just had like one of the worst relationships ever. You know, people were accusing Muhammad of getting with her just to get his green card, which it kind of seemed like at one point. But then he comes back. He's a trucker now. He apologized, you know, and she had that big issue with him saying that she says in her words that no man would ever want to sleep with her because she was smelling, and he apologized. Her friends got him to apologize the other week, and he said he didn't mean it. You know, he was just, I guess, trying to be hurtful, and she cried and felt like she got closure. But what's crazy about the whole thing is she met a nice guy who really likes her. They go out, and Danielle brings it up. The people on Pillow Talk were sounding just like me, like, don't do it, Danielle, don't do it. You could see where it was going. It's like, why would you tell your new date that your ex said you smell? That's something he never had to know unless he watched the show. And there was no point of Muhammad even apologizing, really, if you're still going to go around telling everybody what he said. He said he didn't mean it, so why talk about it? Seems like she's giving it credibility by even bringing it up. I'm like, Danielle, plus it's the first date. But the guy's so classy and nice, he didn't care. He wanted to go out for a second date. And I don't think they went out again, but they brought him on the show and he said he wanted to, you know, he wanted to go out again if she was willing. He said he had his car got stolen or something. He had toe surgery or something like that. But I just thought, Danielle, who does that? I mean, your first date and you're sitting there telling your date that your hygiene is suspect. Like, come on, man. She's, you know, super nice. And the guy she's dating, I mean, real class act, real nice guy. He even talked about, you know, he could relate because he had self esteem issues and stuff like that. But I just, again, it was cringy. And moving on to your boy Big Ed. This dude finally gets Liz, the girl he's been wanting, and he basically just blows it. You know, something happened in Vegas and she shut down, and I think she moved in and he kicked her out or something. And he goes to Las. He goes. What happened? He went on a Las Vegas trip and posted pictures of him with women, and he was trying to rub it in her face. And I was like, you finally get the woman you've been chasing, and you blow it. And she definitely seems to like the guy. She's sitting there crying over him, and that seems like what he always wanted. He wanted to see some emotion from her that she really liked him. He got it, and then he ruined it. It's almost like Ed thinks she's going to wake up one day and realize that it's Ed she's with and she's going to leave, so he tries to ruin it before she leaves. But I'm like, dude, you're sabotaging yourself, man. You're going to look back on this, you know, if it doesn't work out, and you'll be like, man, I had what I wanted and I blew it. And then he's sitting there pretty much flirting with Fernanda that comes on, saying how pretty she is and stuff like that. Man, this dude loves women in their 20s and he's what, 55 or something like that. But this girl really likes him and he blows it. I'm like, he said, I know, I need counseling, this and that. And he doesn't like how when they have a disagreement or they're talking, he doesn't like how she shuts down and stops talking. He doesn't think she's affectionate, and he says he loves attention. But I'm like, that's negative attention. all publicity isn't good publicity, even though some think it is. But I just trip off how someone can sabotage themselves like that. It's not every day you meet somebody that you like, and then you finally do, and you find a reason to ruin it. And she was just crying and crying and crying. It sounded like by the end of the show, he was trying to make up with her, but it's just funny. He invites her to live with him, and then he kicks her out. And even other people on the show were like, "Come on, Ed, come on, Ed," and he got into it with Colty, and and then Colt's mom gets into it with Ed. Oh man, she's got a potty mouth, Colt's mom, and he's Ed's basically telling her to cut the umbilical cord from Colt, and she's like, "Well, you live with your mom or whatever," and he's like, "Yeah, but my mom's not all in my business," and she's like, "I'm not in their business or whatever," and then she asked, what's Colt's girlfriend's name? Vanessa. She asked him, "Am I in your business?" And she smiled like, "I really don't want to say," but um, these women seem to like Colt for some reason. Um, he's a mellow guy, but he's got some addictions. Let's just put it like that. That Vanessa's not cool with. Um, he needs to get some hobbies. Maybe start working out a little more. I know he lost a lot of weight, but looks like he's trying to lose weight a different way rather than going to the gym. But Vanessa's kind of worn out. He asked her to marry him the other week, and she agreed to, but it didn't really sound like she was that motivated. And she's always talking about not trusting Colt because, while he was with Jess and Larissa, he was still, fooling around with her. So she's thinking, well, if he did that with, to them with me, he might do that to me with someone else. And you always have to think like that. But, she has her reasons for getting with Colt. And Brittany, she didn't show up. Something happened with her and the dude, I forget his name, but he kind of looks like Jaleel White, who played Urkel. And I'm not trying to diss him, that's just kind of who he looks like to me, minus the big eyes. But Brittany's a no-show on the tell-all, and I think she's going to come next week. They're going to have another show next week, but Molly's out there and her dude, and he wants to have a child, and she had her tubes tied or whatever. She's not willing to undo it for him, and it's just a big mess. So I don't think Molly's going to be flexible about that. Her boyfriend seems flexible, but he definitely wants to have children, and she's not down for it. She's like, I forget however old she is, close to 50 or something like that, and she doesn't want to do it. So that's going to be interesting. But the main people I came to talk about was Danielle and Ed. Maybe they should get together. She can talk about her older, and he can talk about how crazy his life is and how he needs attention. Maybe that's what they need. Tell me what you guys think. It's on the Discovery Plus app. Um, 90 Day to Single Life. This has been the J. Roos Theory. Thank you for watching. Make sure you comment, share, subscribe, hit the like button, and be fearless as usual, homie. Yay, yay.